All right, everybody. So I want to welcome you this afternoon to a very, very special session. I had some people from from a group that I'm a part of, the Marketing Genesis group, with the Mad Scientist Mastermind, asked me to do this today. I'm getting used to my new setup here. I have a camera down here and I have two screens. So if I move around a little bit, that's the reason why. So once you guys can once you guys can hear this, please definitely let me know that you can hear me in the chat box there on the right-hand side. If you guys have any questions, if I start to talk too fast, whatever it is along the way, definitely mention that in chat, and I will course correct as soon as I see them. As always, we are on a Google Hangout, so there is about a 30-second delay between the time that you ask a question in the chat and where I'm actually at in the speaking presentation. So I just want to be sure we've got a few people on here, and it's about 3 minutes past now. I guess we will wait and see as more people show up here, and we'll just kind of go from there. I do appreciate those of you that have taken the time out of your day to show up and attend. This should be a really, really informative session. So again, I appreciate your time. So let's kind of dive in here. So basically what we're going to cover today is the SiteScout platform. And SiteScout is actually one of my absolute favorites. I use it for a ton of my marketing. And basically, what SiteScout allows you to do is to do both banner advertising, and you can also do retargeting for all of your pages and sales funnels and all of those things. I think it's the best retargeting platform out there right now, and I have tested a ton of them. But it's also, for me, it's the best advertising platform I've seen in a long time. Don't get me wrong, I still use Facebook. I use Twitter, things like that for PPC as well. But I really like SiteScout. I like the layout. I like all of the information that it gives you, and the reliable access as well. So basically, SiteScout really is for anybody that's doing any kind of internet marketing. I don't matter what your product, service, or solution is. It really is a phenomenal platform. And again, I think we're just going to kind of dive in here. Let me get my screen set up, and we will get rolling here. Give me 1 second here. Let's see where that is. And we'll just kind of go from there. I did not prepare any slides today, just so you guys know. I just figured I would do this more of an informal walkthrough. And I'm going to move you guys over here so I can watch. And let's just do this here. So, all right, guys. So basically, this is what you're going to see when you first get into the SiteScout platform. And it's rtb.sitescout.com is the actual website address, and you can see that up here. Again, rtb.sitescout.com. That's where you're going to go to sign up for your account. I do have an affiliate link. I just don't think that this is the appropriate time to be, or place to be, sharing an affiliate link. So basically, with SiteScout, the platform is very, very straightforward. And this is actually a test account. I don't have any funds in here. This is an account that I actually run for a client. I don't mind you guys seeing this stuff. My primary account I like to keep kind of separate. But I'll walk you guys through the setup of a few different types of campaigns. If you guys can, in the chat box, let me know what kind of business that you're advertising for, and maybe I can kind of tailor some things to that as well. What you would primarily like to do with the SiteScout platform, whether it's retargeting or whether you want to generate the initial display advertising or banner traffic, media buys, that sort of thing. You can do that all right here. So again, just let me know in the chat box, and I think we have a few more people showing up, which is a good thing. So let's kind of dive in here. So with SiteScout, it's like I said, the platform is very, very straightforward in the way that it works. This is going to be your main screen. You kind of got to think of this as your home base. And you know, when you first log in here, all you're going to see is this is going to be your campaigns, right? I already opened up a couple of tabs here so that I could go through and set some of this stuff up. But your primary things are going to be here. You've got your campaigns tab to be able to, you know, see your campaigns if you don't already have this open. You've got inventory, which is what banners and things like that you have. So I'll show you guys, or this, I'm sorry, the inventory is what they have available as far as URLs and sites that you can advertise on. And the thing is, guys, they have sites with a huge amount of impressions. You know, this is actually a group from an exchange where they can deliver 600 million. You know, they can deliver 600 million impressions a day, which is a, you know, it's a giant group, you know, of inventory for them. But again, you know, answers.com, you know, Drudge Report, you know, all of these, and they're also telling you what the average cost per 1,000 impressions are. And if you guys, you know, you've been through, a lot of you that are going to be here today have been through Traffic Genesis, you know what they talk about, and some of you have advertised on Facebook, you know how high the CPMs are. And Rick, that's a good one for sure. You know, retargeting on as many platforms as possible with the minimum effort. And then again, this is going to be your best bet for that type of advertising. But you know, if you understand a little bit about, you know, cost per 1,000 impressions, you'll realize that this day and age, Facebook, especially if you're in the news feed, you're going to be somewhere around 8 to 15, sometimes even $20 per 1,000 impressions. If you're in the right column, you may be, you know, $1, sometimes a little bit less, just depending. But you know, I've seen CPMs go up as a whole on Facebook and even with Twitter as well. I've done a lot of Twitter PPC myself here recently. I'm really testing that. So this is your inventory, so you just kind of get an idea, and you can go in here and, you know, add site rules and check out the stats, things like that. And then the next thing is your assets. So these are going to be your retargeting audiences, your conversion lists, the domain lists of domains that you specifically want to advertise on or not advertise on. You can go through, and there's plenty of tools to be able to go through and you know, create domain lists, and then you can upload them here and choose to exclude or include any one of those. And then you have your ad vault, which to me is the most important section. I'll show you guys some of my banners here. I don't mind. You know, again, you know, I use the Easy Tech Guy moniker for everything that I do. It's kind of become my brand. I think it's, you know, pretty memorable. So again, you know, these are all things that I think are really important. But here's the nice thing. Whenever I'm going to go through and, you know, I can, you know, do a new creative or create a new folder, I can upload any of my creatives, all of these things right from here. And they have a really nice way of showing you exactly which, you know, types of banners are going to be useful, right? So again, you know, you kind of go through here and look at this. I'll show you guys my audiences. You know, one thing that I do is you can either create your audiences ahead of time before you create your ad, which is generally the better idea if you're running initial traffic. So if you're going to run banner traffic and then you want to retarget via banners and retarget on Facebook through this platform, you would want to go through and create your retargeting audiences. And as you guys can see, this is, you know, since April of this year, I do believe, you know, how many hits and visitors I've had to my pages. And so these are all people that are retargeted. And here's the nice thing with SiteScout. When you go through and you create a new audience, right? So we're going to just call this tester 23, we'll just call it that, right? So I'm going to go down here, and it's given me this thing here. So I can open this up and it's going to give me the option of the tag. Here's the nice thing. Their tags, unlike Facebook, um, don't expire until the person clears their cookies or clears their history. So technically you could have somebody on this list for 2 years and it would never expire. Whereas Facebook, they put an automatic expiration on the cookie for a maximum of 180 days. But again, you can just get these tags. Generally you're going to use just either the script or you're going to use the HTML image. Most of the time, I like to use HTML images just because it's a 1-by-1 pixel, and it tends to track a little bit better in that case. So again, it's really, really a nice platform. And what I'm doing when I go through and I set up a campaign with SiteScout, I'm doing a few things. Obviously, I've got all of my sites and my pages already set up here, but the big thing is, I've got a pixel on the front page, and then I've got a pixel also on the opt-in page, and a lot of times I'll also have pixels in other places in the funnel. If I have an upsell, if I have a downsell, if I have whatever my checkout pages are. And what I'll do is I'll set this up to where I've got one pixel that's on my front end page, so I know who visited that page, and then I'll use the other pixel as what I like to call a burn pixel. And basically what a burn pixel is you can set it up to where you're excluding that audience. And I'll show you when I go through and I set up a retargeting campaign here that I'm actually going to go through and exclude certain visitors. So what I might do is if I only want to target the people that are in the that have visited the third page in the funnel, then I'm going to exclude the other traffic, or I'm only going to retarget the people who didn't opt in, so I'm going to exclude all of those other pages down the line, or the visitors of the other pages. But it also allows me the ability to just go back and target just the people who have visited a specific page. So that's the nice thing with this. You can set up individual pixels for each one of your pages, and you don't have to go through and in advance know, hey, it's this domain or this exact URL like with Facebook. So again, I think it's one of the best platforms as far as that goes. Now, as far as actually going through and setting up a campaign, they kind of fall into two categories: desktop and mobile. And here's the cool thing with the desktop, you can obviously set up brand new campaigns. On websites, you can do retargeting, audience campaigns, contextual campaigns, video campaigns, and even Facebook campaigns. The Facebook campaigns, it doesn't say it, but they're basically retargeting campaigns. You can do initial campaigns through Facebook. It just doesn't work quite the same in my book. And here's the cool thing, like you could do in-stream video ads, so where it's going to go to Yahoo and YouTube and other video sites, and you're actually going to place in-stream video ads if you want to do that as well. You can also set up banner ads that show up inside of YouTube right from here and retarget people just on YouTube. Right, YouTube's the second largest search engine in the world now, behind Google, and the second most traffic site on the planet behind Google. So you can do all of that stuff right through here. So I know that a lot of you are looking to do retargeting, so we'll kind of start with that and just kind of go through here. So when I'm going to go through and do a retargeting campaign, but yeah, I'm not worried about that. And hide this so I can actually see. So this is your actual initial retargeting campaign platform. This is all of your most basic information, right? So we're just going to call this, again, we'll just call this test 23, and for now we're just going to send people to espn.com. All right. I'm a sports fan, so that was the first thing that came to my head, and we're just setting up a test here. All right. So flight dates. You can either set up a campaign that just continuously runs, or you can set up your date range, an official start and end date. I'm generally going to just let my campaigns run because I'm going to go in and manually review them on a day-to-day basis anyways. You've got day parting, which you can choose to only run your ads during specific hours if you would like, which again, I think is absolutely phenomenal to be able to do that. I really wish Facebook would add this feature, for day parting, but with their algorithm and auto optimization and things like that, it doesn't really work out all that well, right? So I can set up day parting. I can set up frequency caps, right? And what I'll tell you guys, if you're doing banner advertising, you definitely want to set frequency caps, because what happens is if you don't tell it, hey, I only want to show my ad to this person, 5 times in 24 hours or whatever it is, you run the risk of alienating people, because if they see your ad over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, that's an issue, right? Um, People, they develop ad blindness after a while. Then, oh God, not that one again, not that one again, and eventually they just don't even see it anymore. And the people from Mike and Andy and Laura talked about that a little bit inside of Traffic Genesis as well. You got to be careful, because after a while your ad's just not going to be as effective, and then you need to renew the ad or pause it for a while and start to run it again. You can, here's the next step is you can either just have a campaign that just shows up in this basic, campaign section, or you can add it to a folder, so you can have, a bunch of campaigns, which it's kind of like an ad set or a campaign in Facebook, where you've got a folder and then you can create subfolders. And when you create subfolders and things like that, and I'll show you guys this here in just a little bit, you have the option to be able to go back and set your budgets based on the folder or subfolder that they're in that way as well. So again, I could choose a folder or group, I could put this in here. Here's the things where SiteScout gets really interesting for me, is the geo targeting, right? I can target specific locations. So I've got, my United States, and then I could break it down into specific state, right? I could go into, I'm not from Alabama, but I could, this is going to tap open, and I can go and target a specific city or untarget a specific city, and this is on top of retargeting. So if you have one pixel and you're driving a ton of traffic, right, from Facebook and Twitter and all of your SEO traffic and all of that stuff that you're doing, right, or possibly doing, you can then go through and just retarget subsets within your retargeting. So I can set up an audience and then only target people that are in this specific area with that ad, so then I can name them in the ad or call them out or whatever I need to do there. So you can do that as well. And you'll be able to do this for both retargeting campaigns and with your initial banner traffic, which I'll go over again here in just a little bit. I can do specific zip codes. I can also target by area code as well, like phone number area codes. So that's the thing that's really nice about this. And I'm going to show you guys something else that's really cool here after a bit. So once you get that set up, the next thing obviously is your budget, right? So in addition to having frequency caps and day parting, you also have the ability to set up your budgets, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend my ad, I always like to make sure that I do my ad spend evenly, because what happens is if you just give it $100 budget and $3 per 1,000 impressions, and say, for example, you're doing run of network, which I'll talk about here in just a minute, right? It's going to show your ads across their whole thing and show your ad over and over and over again if you're not setting these specific limits. So I always want to spend it evenly throughout the day. And I also want to make sure that I set very specific budgets, both for the ad and the folder in a lot of cases as well. And then, of course, you can also do your platform and inventory type. You can choose, only to be on desktop or specific operating systems if that's something that's a requirement. You can even target specific browsers as well. So all of those things are options here. And you want to go through and make sure you're as clear as possible when you're going through and adding these. So, here's some other cool things. You can also do your basic optimization. I'm just going to check all of these and kind of show you guys here. Brand protection, view through conversions, and audience. So basically, let's talk about page position, right? And if you guys, once you guys get to this section, because I know there's a delay as always, let me know what you guys know about above the fold and below the fold. And I'm going to kind of go over this here as well. When you're doing banner advertising, especially, I always prefer to have my ads above the fold. And the reason for that is, let's take, I think I've got ESPN open here, right? So for ESPN, and I want to refresh this and see what happens here just real quick. So when ESPN opens, this is what it opens to, right? And so we've got, this would be the only banner on this page currently that's above the fold. See, and most people are going to do most of their browsing above the fold. Not very many people are scrolling down here to see all of this stuff, the fan shop, this is your game. Let's check out CNN.com, right? We can check out CNN too while we're here. So with CNN, here we go. This is privacy policy. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. So right now, this is their above the fold ad. And you've got one here. Obviously, you guys can see that I visited Wisty in the past year. They know that I'm in business and I do videos, right? Probably because I'm on a Google Hangout right now and being retargeted based on that data. So again, guys, these are what you would call above the fold. So do you think that people are more likely to see this and actually click on it because it's right there in their face, or are they going to scroll down and go, oh, I'm looking for this Garth Brooks. Oh, hey, look, they've got a lot of banners on here. Look at that, SendGrid. I'm getting retargeted because I've used SendGrid in the past. The ad choices network there. So the further down you get down the page, like this Tide banner is a joke. The thing is, they're being charged for an impression even if I don't scroll down and actually see this. Anytime somebody opens this page, that's a charged impression. And if you watch again, like if I refresh this page, it's going to take me, right back here. And if I scroll down, let's see what the advertisement is. Somebody's getting charged for this, right? Regardless, somebody's always getting charged. So there we go, GoToMeeting. That banner was there before I got down to this page. So they're getting charged for an impression. So I want to make sure people actually see my ads. That's really, really important to me. So we definitely want to keep that in mind. So I'm always going to choose above the fold. What I'll tell you is above the fold is generally more expensive. And that's personal preference of mine to choose above the fold, right? And I'm not going to always include unknown page positions because some websites don't say, hey, specifically this is above the fold. So you're narrowing down your impressions to be able to say, hey, this is exactly where I want to advertise. I want to be known and shown in a specific place. You can also do brand protection, which basically this is, so you're not getting, say for example, you've got, you can do by ad stats, how many ads are on the page, how viewable your ad is, all these things. You can segment out adult traffic, so you're not, having your advertisement shown on an adult website or something with content that isn't specifically yours. One that I really like is this content-rich environment. I want to make sure that I'm getting in places where there's good content and things like that, not just a shit ton of ads. That's really, really important. I can also set up view through conversion tracking, right? How many people actually see, actually makes a conversion after seeing my ad but not clicking on it, which is actually a really nice little thing to be able to track. And of course, I can set it up to where I'm capturing clicks into specific audiences and all of this stuff as well. So I go through and choose my audience here. I can capture all of this stuff. And as you go along and you get better at this and get a little bit more practice, it definitely makes sense to be, capturing this stuff. Laura talks about it all the time in the course. You want to have every possible opportunity to get back in front of your people and offer them something, and offer something that's just a little bit different as well. So um, again, guys, I think there's some really, really good options here. And then of course, you can go through and set up your bids. But I'll tell you guys, when I'm bidding, I'm generally going to go through and I'm going to start out somewhere between $3 and $5 maximum, because that's going to get you most of the inventory anyways, unless you're using a bunch of extra cost segmenting and things like that, data sets, all of that stuff. That's going to get you a pretty good reach and get you in front of the right people as well. So just something to kind of keep in mind there. So once we're happy with how things look here, we're going to go through to the next step, audience capture. Let me turn this off. All right, so we've got this, right? So now I can go through and I can add my audiences, right? So I can, choose to add a new audience, or I can go back and use the audiences that I have, first access, last access. I could go through and choose a new retargeting audience, right? Or I can add the audience that I have on here, and I can choose how many days I want to target them, all of these things, right? 61 days after first access, all of this stuff, and I can choose to target or untarget them, right? And then I can choose what audience I want to have. So normally what I'm going to do is I'm going to target only the people who have visited my page when I'm doing retargeting, and then, or who have just gotten to that front page and haven't opted in. Because if they've opted in, what's the sense of me sending them back or showing those ads to those people, right? So I'm going to add another audience, and we're going to choose CP1 burn, and I'm going to exclude those people. So if they've opted in, I don't want to show them my ad again. But if they haven't opted in, yeah, of course, right? So these are the people that I'm going to show my ads to, right? How many of you guys are familiar with how to actually place the tracking pixels is another question I want to ask as I go along here. So whenever you get this, definitely let me know there in the chat. So most of the time, I'm going to choose to run across all exchanges. As you get more advanced, you can go out and find out about these different exchanges. But SiteScout has access to every major traffic exchange and directory that's out there. Seriously, their inventory is unparalleled, and I don't care where else you go, Traffic Vancer or any of the other ones. I've tested them all. Um, they're really, really awesome as far as that goes. And you can also choose to, go out and get domain lists and only advertise on specific domains if that's what you want to do. So we're going to choose run across exchange for this one, right? And then we're going to go next step, and then I'm going to choose to add a creative, and we'll go to add vault banner and easy tech guy one. So we're going to select this. And so there we go, right? And once I get to this point, it's going to give me, all the supported sizes. And if you guys can see that, they support a lot of different sizes. So if you use something like $20banners.com, they can make the banner exactly how you want it to. Okay, so just so you guys know that. So once I'm happy with, I've got this banner and I can preview where it's going to be, or preview what it looks like, right? There we go. So again, appear secure, click here to test clicks and conversions. I can do all that stuff, right from the platform here. And of course, the next step, it's going to give me the summary that, when I'm retargeting, I'm only going to include and exclude this. You want to make sure that this is all right. And then you can launch campaigns. What I will tell you guys, okay, is on average, it takes 24 hours for SiteScout to approve an ad. So you're generally going to want to wait 24 hours, and then I would wait at least another 24 hours before coming back to check and see how the ad is doing, right? See what your cost per impressions are, how many clicks you've got, what you're paying per click. All of these things is going to make a difference, right? So, if we were happy with this, then this is what we do. I'm going to cancel this one out, right? And let's go through and we're going to set up an initial banner campaign, and then I will come back and talk about placing your pixels on your pages, okay? So let's just do a regular website campaign, right? And here is where SiteScout really, really excels, in my opinion. If you want to do banner advertising and do initial banner traffic, let me tell you what, this is the best thing out there. So again, let's do this. We're going to call this best test. All right. And we're going to send them to ESPN.com again, right? So again, all of the options here are the same. I'm going to show you guys some really neat things as we go along here, but I can do certain zip codes. I can target by country, and you can also do your geographic targeting as well, right? So there's some really neat things that I can do with this, but again, and I just kind of want to walk you through the basic process. So as we've got this, we're going to do all day. You've got the US area code. You can, do certain locations. And here's the cool thing. 14063, add codes, right? This is my zip code, so we'll just add this in here. All right, so I can do that, and here's the cool thing. It will give me the option to add or exclude a certain area code. So I can do 14063, but not do 14089. Right, so I can target just a specific zip code, and then they also, and I'll show you this here in a minute, they also have the option for certain types of ads to be able to go through and say, I only want to show this ad to people that are in a specific geographic area by distance, right? So you can do that as well. And again, we've got page position. You can choose the contextual, what kind of content you want. And then again, you've got your brand protection, all of this stuff here as well. So we're going to skip that, right? And so now we're at our inventory again. So again, here you can just add specific networks, and again, this is up to you, but when you go through the inventory tab here, you could actually do the research and see what where they're actually going to place your ads, right? So I can add site rules. I can add ad placements, right, above the fold, all of this stuff, right? It's going to tell me, what sizes that this network specifically takes, and things like that as well. So again, we're going to jump back in here, and let's just do this. I can add filters. So I can filter by exchange. I can filter by their category, by country, by the ad set that they, or the type of ad that they allow, and the minimum number of impression. And I can even choose just brand new sites as well to keep my CPM down if that's a choice, right? So again, I've got all of these options that I can go through. I'm just going to pick this one out, right? I can go next step here, inventory, do add selected. So there we go. That's my inventory. So again, I can go through and I can add the creative, and then we can build that out from there. Again, giving you more and more options as you go along here. So again, once you get that set up and you've got all the general stuff out of the way, right, you can go through and add any of this other stuff, and choose all these specific locations. One thing that it's, let me see if it's going to let me do this. United States, we're going to go Alabama, and I can even target these specific areas. So this is all I want to target. But the thing is, you've got the option to go through and choose all of this stuff, right? Who you want to target, what your requirements are, And here's another one that's also pretty big. You can choose your site placements and how to optimize. So you can set it to where it's not, it's going to optimize your ads after 10,000 impressions. All really good options here. So I can choose a control group, a challenge group, optimize for conversion rate, optimize for click-through rate, all of these things. And I can even do site placements as well. So if I want to specifically be at $2 cost per click or $1 cost per click, it's going to sample that over 10,000 impressions. And then after that, it's only going to show it on advertisers that gets me below my chosen cost per click. I've had campaigns run as low as 3 cents per click in certain networks as well, just so you guys know. So once I'm happy with how this looks, again, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to add a creative, go right through my banners here, and we'll just pick this one out, right? Status eligible, and okay. So I've got that, and then of course the last step is here, right? So again, I can go back and edit any one of these specifically and decide exactly how I want, how I want my ad and where I want it. So we've got all that set up, right? So that's the first. So let's go through and let's pick out another campaign. Now, the next one, the one that I'm going to use the most is an audience campaign. And the reason why I like audience campaigns is because I get access to their data sets. You know how Facebook allows you to target based on their behaviors and things like that? It's the same idea here where I can actually go through and target by specific data sets, right? So we're going to do this. SP.com. And I'm going to go through again. I would go through and check all of this stuff out, see, who I want to target, where I want to target, what types of devices, all of those things. I'm only going to target on the desktop. So I can target by their DMA code, right? I can, again, do by postal codes in the United States and Canada. And I can also do any, country or whatever specifically that I want to do there. So again, you've got all your options for optimization. It's going to be up to you to kind of test out and see what works. What I'll tell you is after a few ads, you guys are going to be pros at this. It does not take that long to go through and actually figure this platform out because it's all right there. And as long as you go through things in a step-by-step fashion, you'll be in a good spot. So now we have this, right? So basically what I would do here, right, is I've got all of my available audiences, right? And I can go through and choose these audiences, right, based on, small business decision makers. And you got to keep this in mind that when you use these, this is the added cost per 1,000 impressions, right? So if I'm going to use a small business decision maker, right, and so I've got this here, and I can move this however I want, right? And so this is going to be, if I'm going to choose more than one of these, so I'm going to use IT professional. So I can do small business decision maker and an IT professional, or I can do this either a small business decision maker or an IT professional. So you can set up and or, which right now Facebook doesn't allow you to do, right? So again, all really, really good options here. And there is a ton of data, right? You can choose all of the whole thing, or you can go in and go by, lifestyles. Some of you guys might recognize Data Logics. It's one of the ones that Facebook goes with. New Star, and these other ones here, you've got low tame, which is another one that Facebook uses as well. But, you can target people by specific types of literature and even by the language in their browser as well. So all options here, right, of things that you can go through and target, and you can set up multiple and ors, right? So I could do business decision maker, and then I can also do, let's do people who are interested in auto parts and accessories, right? So this would be an and I can move this up here, right? So I can do all of these things, right? People are interested in specific things or have specific business data uses. All of these things are all possibilities here. So if we pick this out, we're going to go to the next step here. And again, it gives you the option to run across all exchanges. And then the next thing is your ads and your ad creative, right? So that's the next step here. Are you guys following me? Let me know if I'm going too fast or if there's anything at all you want me to cover as I go through this, right? If you guys have any questions at all for me, definitely let me know. So I'm going to get rid of this campaign, right? And let's go. Let's take a look at their Facebook campaigns, because I think this is something that's important as well, right? So I can go through here, and again, it's the same steps, espn.com, right? Unnamed campaign. And again, here's the cool thing, even with Facebook's, it will check your view through conversions. You can capture the audience as well. All of these things are right here at your fingertips, right from running this one ad. So again, I'm going to go through and I'm going to choose next step, right? I can either do my audience, right? So I can add my own retargeting audiences, or I can use the third-party audiences, right? So now I have 10 times, actually probably 100 times the amount of data sets and business intelligence that Facebook allows you to have access to right here on this platform, right? So again, you go through and choose all these if you want. Let's just choose business decision maker and go to the next step, right? So I can use the inventory, or I can run it across all of Facebook. So here's the thing that I'm going to tell you guys. What I've noticed is I'll run it on the Facebook home profile. I mean, you can run it across all these. Some of them you're never actually going to get any run on. It's just not going to happen, just the way Facebook ads work. So a lot of times it's just run across the whole network, and then you've got a nice little ad creator, right? Because it's primarily going to show it on the right column with this platform, right? They do have access to the news feed, but that right now is only for high volume users, and it's something you have to request access to, okay? So again, you're just going to go through just like you're creating a normal Facebook ad, right? And let's just pick an image out here, right? So right now there's 600 by 315. That one's just too big, right? So that's the image size types, right? And so your ad has to be approved by the SiteScout ad quality team. It's not actually getting approved by Facebook, right? And the cool thing is SiteScout, they're really easy. You can do a lot of things that you may not necessarily have been able to get to with Facebook as well. So again, with the Facebook campaign, you have the option to either use your retargeting audiences and only retarget those people, or you can run initial traffic as well, which I think is flippin' phenomenal, right? And I can do all my geographic targeting, all of that stuff as well. And what I'll tell you is, for certain beta users, they also have access to Twitter as well, right? And I can do all of this stuff also. I can go to a contextual campaign. I can place in-stream video ads. I'll kind of cover that a little bit. I haven't really done much of this myself, but you can choose where in the video you want to show your ad, the location, again, what your budget is, platform, mobile carriers. All of these things are going to make a difference in how your campaigns run, right? And let's see here. So I can do the destination URL. Let's just go back. So now I've got same thing with inventory, and I can do contextual campaigns, which is another one that I like here. So content-based ads specifically, and you can do content with all the other tracking and things like that as well. One thing I'm just trying to figure out why 4063 and codes. Yeah, so I can add or exclude that way. And hang on a second here. Oh yeah. So with contextual, I'm just going to do this, esvn.com, right? And I'm going to go to the next step. So the big thing with contextual, you can set up contextual advertising on retargeting and on regular website campaigns. This just happens to be specifically contextual advertising. So this is your targeting. So rather than doing retargeting, or rather than doing, you know, interest-based or just regular, you know, domain-based, this is contextual-based advertising. So I can choose whatever I want here again, and it's going to tell you what my extra CPM is. And the same thing as you go along through here. Domain list, run across all exchanges, all of those things, right? So all options of things that you can go through and do here. Just trying to make this work. So we've got contextual, and okay, so we've got that one set up, and you've got advanced campaigns. I really wouldn't mess with that right now. I don't do a whole lot of mobile advertising, but you know, one thing that's nice with mobile is this hyper local campaign. So you can actually target people based on their carrier by certain optimization. Let's just do this, espn.com. And next step. So here's one that's really nice with hyperlocal campaigns. If you do any kind of mobile advertising, right, I can do by coordinates, or I can actually, let's do this. So I could come in here, right, and now, as you guys can see, I'm only going to target people that are in a specific geo-targeted area, right? And I could say 100 kilometers, and we're going to save. So now we're going to zoom back out. So now, if you look here, I can target people that are in this general area in Nebraska, right? And only those people too, which is cool. So, you know, people that live within 100 kilometers of Grand Island, Nebraska, and that gets me to major metropolitan area. Or I can exclude people that live in that area, one or the other. So again, you have that option there. And the same thing as you go along here. There is a, I'm just trying to find it here. Retarget audience. I think this one allows me to do hyper local. To geographic. Oh, where the hyper local. There used to be an option for hyper local here, and I'm not sure where it went to. They might have removed it temporarily. Yeah, so you do have the option on this platform as well to do, you know, only people that are within a certain radius of an area, which I think makes it really nice if you don't know all the names of all the little cities and towns and things like that in your area or the area that you're targeting. Well, there you go. So real quick, does anybody have any questions for me? Anything specifically that I can cover for you as I go along here? Any questions about the platform, anything like that? Just definitely let me know. I see that there's still some of you here. So let me know what you guys think about this platform and what I could do to help. So definitely let me know, guys. And I'll jump back here. So, Okay, 1 second here real quick, guys. One second. One second here. All right. Okay, so I apologize for that there. Yes, okay. So basically with SiteScout, and oh, hang on 1 second here. All right, so let me just jump back in here. So with SiteScout, the first time you make a deposit, there is a $500 minimum deposit, right? And you can do that through here. And here's the nice thing: you can either use a credit card or use PayPal. And here's the nice thing: after you do that initial deposit, I just let it get down to a smaller amount, and then I return that as well. Okay. So, you have that option right there, and you can just continue to add funds as you need after that. But the initial deposit is $500 minimum. But guys, if you're just going through and testing and just getting started, it takes a little bit to get to that point. So that's the only thing that's really outstanding. Now, what I do want to cover here a little bit is how to actually set up your tracking pixels, right? How many of you guys use WordPress-based websites, and how many of you use websites that are like just regular coded websites? Because that's going to make a difference. Or are you trying to do this on like lead pages or something like that? Because lead pages gives you the option right inside of there to be able to place the pixel. The other types of pages require you to do it in a different way. So definitely let me know that. And while we're doing that, we will go. I'm going to jump in here into lead pages, and I will go into. Alrighty. Well, actually, just a second here. Just logging in, and I will show you guys some of the things here. And just jump into File Manager. Not sure which one I've got. Yeah, I'll just jump into this one. Actually, I should probably do this with GoDaddy instead. Yeah, because I don't think I have any just plain pages. These are all WordPress sites. Yeah. So let me do that. So WordPress for Rick. What about you, Alan? I know, Brian, you use WordPress, or well, you've got your other site too. So here's what I'll do. I'll show you guys this real quick. So let me get into lead pages here as well. And I'll show you the easy way to do this with lead pages if you're capturing leads that way. So with lead pages, all right, I can just jump into any one of my lead pages, my capture pages, and we're just going to go to edit, and I think that was a test. Just waiting on you to load. The internet's a little slow today. My apologies. Well, That's weird. Lead page options. So with lead pages, you just go into your edit page. You're going to go to lead pages options, and you're going to go to tracking code. Okay. Okay, cool. That's good to know, Alan. That's that's really good to have somebody that can handle the moving pixels and things like that for you. SiteScout's pixels, just an FYI, are head tag tracking codes. So you want to have them in the head, above the closing head tag. Right. With SiteScout or with lead pages, you can just simply take the tracking code that it gives you. So if I go into my audiences and I go to get tags, I'm going to use the script, right? So I'm just going to copy this, and I would just put this right here, right? So that's where that's going to go, and then I would save it. That would be for the capture page. You would do the same thing for your, follow-up page, your sales page, or whatever. ClickFunnels also has the same feature where you can just, slap the code in there. If you are on WordPress, generally what I'm going to do is there's actually a couple of tools that you can use. What is it called? Here, just do this. I think I've got it on here. Yeah, lead pages is a good way to go. I mean, it's really simple. Again, it's just right there in the tracking code section. If I'm going to do this on a regular coded site, just jump in here, sign in. Oh, she's running slow today, which is weird. Just get into my hosting here and I'll show you guys this. So I've got that. So let's see here real quick. Get into my file manager. So with this one, I actually use a plugin called Invisible Opt-in this case here on WordPress. There's a few plugins that will do this. Invisible Opt-in, if you use lead pages, you can also use the lead pages plugin to do this as well. But what I could do is I can actually set with Invisible Opt-in, which I think it's a JVZoo product. So you could find it for like, $17 or something like that. That's what I'm going to use the plugin, or you just search the plugins for retargeting. And here's the cool thing with Invisible Opt-in is it allows me to use one code and I can automatically retarget all of the pages with one code, or I can go into Campaign Manager and I can retarget specific pages as well, right? So however I want to do that, that way it's only retargeting, based on that specific site. All right, so a way to group audiences by domain or something to keep different properties together. Yes, actually that is a really, really good one. So basically, Alan, what I would do there is when I go through and I create my ads, if you guys see here in the campaigns, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a campaign and I'm going to just use a specific folder, right? So then I've got, a folder, and then I've got another campaign, and I can put sub campaigns in there. So that's how I'm going to keep different properties together. The other way to do it is whenever you're creating your audiences, right, you just name them for that specific. Sharon, Social Spy, that Social Spy Agent tool actually is. It's something for outside, like if you're an affiliate marketer, you don't really have your own website, you can use Social Spy Agent to put a cookie in front of a page that you don't own. So that's how Social Spy Agent works, whereas Invisible Opt-in is a WordPress plugin. And the nice thing with SiteScout again is I can go through and I'm just putting the pixel wherever I want. So I'm going to name it for that specific page. Like these are all different capture pages and different pages in the funnels that I was running for this client. So I'm going to choose based on that. So hopefully that answers your question there, Alan. Um, yeah, that should most definitely do the trick there. Give me 1 second here. Yeah. So, what else do you guys want to know about the platform here? Anything else that I could help with? Something that's maybe not clear or anything like that? Definitely let me know if you guys do have any further questions. So, um, that's really what I have for you. That's a really basic overview of the platform. What types of campaigns that you can run, a little bit about how I generally bid and budget and things like that. If you guys are going to have banners created, if you've got a graphic designer, that's great. If not, I use just $20banners.com. Again, not something I'm an affiliate of, and I don't think it's the right place for an affiliate. What I will tell you guys is, I do all sorts of things like this traffic wise. Some of you that are here have been with me for a long while and been on webinars of mine for quite a while. And I'm a traffic guy. It's what I love to do. Um, and if you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'm going to give you guys a link here, right? For a 100% free consultation, no strings attached, no offer at the end of it, no, hey, give me $50 or whatever. You guys are using this platform and maybe you need a little bit of a walkthrough for your specific business. That's what I want to do. It's my goal to be able to give as much value as I possibly can, right? That's really, really big for me, right? So that's what I want to do here. I want to give you guys the opportunity to interact with me directly, either via Skype or even another hangout like this, and we can go through what you might need for your business. Again, that is 100% no strings attached. Hopefully, yeah. There's no way to group them other than just by naming them. Well, Alan, to kind of go back into that, I mean, you can, actually, set them in a certain, list. Like whenever I create this audience, I give it a name, and I can do like saved audiences, the groups, right? So if I go into my assets, where'd it go? Unless they changed it here recently. Um, yeah, yeah, that's really about the only way to do it. You're just gonna have your audience list, and you can say, hey, name it for this page, or that's what I do. I mean, I just name them for pages. There's not really a way to put them into specific folders or anything like that. Yeah, just by naming them, that's the best thing that I can tell you, to be honest. Something that they may roll out in the future if you start using the platform. What I can tell you is they are really, really good about responding to requests and things like that. So, if you have something maybe you see that you want to have added to the platform or whatever, you can most definitely do that as well. So, um, again, if you guys have any questions, most definitely let me know. Um, Otherwise, that's what I have for you guys this evening. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity and a link here where you guys can actually get an actual strategy session. And again, it's 100% no strings attached. I'm here to talk. That's something I'm passionate about. You guys that are in the Marketing Genesis group know that we talk and trade ideas and things like that all the time. So if that's something you guys want to do, click that link. It goes to a time trade page. You can set up a time that's convenient for you. I definitely love to talk to you wherever I can. So with that, unless anybody has any other questions for me, and I'll stick around here for about another 2 minutes to see if the questions come up, because I know that there's that delay. But otherwise, I appreciate your guys' time this afternoon for sure. Oh, okay, Alan. So as far, it depends on the market that I'm in, and what I'll tell you is running initial traffic. A lot of times, I always strive to keep my CPMS below $3, just because I know how low the click-through rates are going to be in a lot of cases, unless I get a really good placement. What I found is placing my ads on YouTube gets me really, really cheap clicks. So I'll be paying a little bit more for the impression. The link, it should have popped up here. Let's see here. You guys should, if you guys click the pop-ins tab towards the top of the chat box, it should be there. Just so you know. Again, guys, so $3 per 1,000 impressions, sometimes a little bit lower. I mean, I get some sites where it's 50 cents, 40 cents. But I want to make sure that for me, that I'm getting really, really targeted views. So a lot of times I'll go through and I'll do specific data sets, and I'll do retargeting and then really narrow it down to, hey, I just want this audience. If I got 100,000 people or 200,000 people or 500,000 people to retarget, which I've got some lists that are that big to retarget, I want to get that narrowed down to a very specific group of people. I primarily do a lot of CPA offers and things like that, so I really have to watch what I do in that case. So hopefully that answers. For me, I'm not so worried about CPM. I'm more worried about what's my cost per click and am I profitable. I don't mind being the guy that pays the most for my ads if I'm profitable. If I have to pay $5 a click, I'll pay it if I'm making 10. So most definitely that would be the case in for me. So. Alrighty, so hopefully that answers it. With that, guys, we've been on just about an hour here. I am going to leave this replay up. You guys will get emailed access to the replay, and I will direct email you the link to the URL for this as well if you want to go back and look through it at the same time. So with that, I really, really appreciate you guys being here and sticking around with me for the last hour. I want to do more of these coming up, and I'll definitely let you guys in the groups know what's what and things like that. So again, I appreciate it. You guys take care, and we will talk very soon.